Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Tiffany. So today I'm going to talk about 3 magical things that you can include in your planner. So I've been including these things in my planners probably for at least 7 years or so, and it's been interesting to kind of see how things play out. The first thing I like to add is the numerology personal year. The second thing is your tarot card year. And the third is a yearly divination layout. All right, so let's talk about the numerology personal year. So I'm not a numerology expert. I know enough to be dangerous, but I've been doing this enough years in a row that I think there's like totally something to this, okay? So the idea behind the numerology personal year is that we all have a personal year cycle where every year when you move into the energy of the next year, you are also moving into the energy of a number. So in numerology, the different numbers 1 through 9, and then 11 and 22, all have an energy that they bring with them. And so we cycle through, like every year we move into the energy of a new number and we cycle through these energies. And the energetics will tell us something about the lessons we might learn that year, the opportunities we might encounter, or the experiences that we might have. And so when you know the energy of the number that you're going to be moving into the next year, and maybe you're also recognizing the energy of the number that you're currently in, it can kind of give you a heads up of what to expect, okay? All right, so I need to make a note about the cycle or the personal year cycle. So some numerologists will tell you that your personal year runs calendar year, meaning I'm in 2023 right now. When I hit January 1st, I'm moving into the energy of 2024. Some numerologists will tell you that you do not move into the energy of that new number until your birth date, and that the cycle runs birth date to birth date. So for example, if you are lucky and your birthday is on January 1st, or an early January birthday like my sister would be a good example of this, it's easy for her because in 2024, or the next year she moves into, that entire year, she'll be experiencing the energy of that number. If you're somebody like me who's born at the end of the year, what that means is you're almost like a year behind. So for me, I'm born in December. And if I'm going to consider my personal year cycle to be birth date to birth date, then mine is going to run, my 2023 year is going to run December 2023 to December 2024. And it's almost like the entire year 2024, I'm in the energy of the 2023, right? So that gets kind of confusing. But what they say to do is really do the math, and I'll explain the math here in a second. And then look at the number, look at the energy of the number, and decide, am I in the energy of the calendar year? Like, is this lining up? Or do I feel like my cycle is birth date to birth date? And I can just tell you, for me personally, having done this for many years in a row, I definitely think that my personal year cycle runs birth date to birth date. So I'm always kind of in that camp of being a little bit behind. All right, so how do you find your personal year number? What you're going to do is you're going to take the month you were born. So I have 2 examples here so you can see, but the month you were born, so let's say you're born September 11th, and that's going to be 11, right? And then the day of your birth, which is the 11th. And then you're going to take the year that you're trying to get the number for. So in this case, it's 2023. And you can see that it would be added like 1 plus 1, right? So November, 1 plus 1, plus 1 plus 1. And then you would be adding 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 3. So that equals 11. So your personal year would show up as an 11-2. And so there's a very specific meaning of showing up with the master number. So 11 and 22 are master numbers. And so that's like the first example where you might land on a master number. So if you get 11 or 22, you want to keep those. You don't want to add up to go down further. With the second example, I have April 4th in the year of 2023. It would be added 4 plus 4 plus 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 3 equals 15. And then you would want to get your personal year, because 15 is not a master number. So then you're going to want to add 1 plus 5 equals 6. So this person who's born on April 4th in 2023 is going to have their numerological year that year is going to be the number 6. So before I move on, I want to let you know, I do have an article on my website that goes through all of the meanings of the numbers. So if you do want to run your personal year, and with the current year or the year coming up, you can even go back in time and kind of test things out. And there's a specific year, maybe it was a shit show or something. You're like, I want to see what number I was in that year. You can go to this article on my website. I'll link it below, and I have all of the meanings for all of the different numbers, 1 through 9, and then also the master numbers. And so you can find out the meaning that way. All right, so with the tarot card year theme, it's very similar. The calculation is very similar, and the difference is going to be there are not master numbers in the tarot card year. It's really, you're trying to get the calculation for your birthday, birth month, and year down to a number that is 22 or less, because there's 22 cards in the major arcana. Okay. And so, like, what is the tarot card year? The tarot card year is essentially this idea that every year we move into a new cycle of a major arcana tarot card, and that card represents the themes, the lessons, and the experiences and opportunities that we're going to encounter that year as well. So the calculation is very similar to what we said before. You can see here, I'm even using the same examples. November 11th in the year 2023, and then April 4th in the year of 2023. So in the first example, because there's no master numbers, like in the numerology personal year, when we get the number 11, we're going to keep it there, right? But the number 11 is going to represent the justice card, okay? So if you do the calculation and you get your birth date and the year that you're doing the calculation for down to a number that's 22 or less, I have the meaning of that card and the themes for that card on an article on my website. In the second example with the April 4th, we get the same number. We get the number 6 as we did with the numerology personal year, but this time the number 6 is lining up with the Lover's card, right? So then you would go and you would look and say, what is the meaning of the Lover's card? And what can I expect this year? What opportunities might be coming my way? What experiences might I be having this year? All right, so the last thing that I like to include in my planner every year is a 12-month tarot card spread. Now, you can also use oracle cards if you prefer, but I do use tarot cards for mine. I've been doing this for probably about 10 years, and it's been really interesting. And the idea is I'm pulling a card to understand the theme of each month in the upcoming year. I will tell you, sometimes it's been hit or miss, because this is a really, like, if you're thinking about tarot cards, I think tarot cards are playing off, or oracle cards are playing off a synchronicity in our life, right? And if you're looking at a big stretch of time, it can be really hit or miss. However, I will say I've had some really uncanny things happen. So there's been times when I pulled cards that referenced abundance and I got a bonus that same month. I also had a situation, very specific situation in December of 2019, I pulled the spread, and for March of 2020, the card that I got was the Tower card. And at the time, not knowing that COVID was going to be a thing, I assumed that the Tower card meant something shady was going to happen in my own life. And so I totally blew out the spread, pulled all the cards back, and then redid it again, because I just, for some reason, I was in this place where I was taking it really personally. I thought something was going to happen to me, and I was in this place where I just could not think of the Tower card happening to me in that year. And so, but what's really funny is that it ended up being very, very accurate, right, for what was going on in the world. And so now I'm wishing I would have kept that original spread, because it probably would have been way more accurate. But anyway, so I just have found that this spread is just really helpful to get a sense for the year ahead. But also, to be honest with you, it's more fun to reflect on this spread later as I move through the months of the year and just see in hindsight, okay, what was March supposed to be about? What was April supposed to be about? And then what actually happened. So this is how I use this spread. I really love it. It's simple. You just obviously you just shuffle the deck, you think about the year ahead, and then you pull the cards out for the next 12 months. So those are the three things that I would share with you about putting in a planner that are a little more magical and a little more different than maybe some other things, and maybe not as boring as a budget. So anyway, if you have any questions about this, just let me know.